Yeah, hello and welcome to another Load Up Crypto Update video. And today we talk about another important Bitcoin indicator that can be found on lookintobitcoin.com for free. We're talking here about another indicator that is flashing a long-term buy signal for Bitcoin. Again, this doesn't have to mean the price has to go up tomorrow, but it is sort of a long-term signal that occurred only a few times in Bitcoin's history in the last 12 to 24 months. And historically, when you bought at that level and then sold when the sell signal flashed, you could have done quite well. So this is the active address sentiment indicator. It is an indicator which considers, first of all, the 28-day active address change in percent. This is in gray here. So these are the active addresses that and how they have changed in percent in the last 28 days. So it naturally always goes up and down. Overall, this means the active addresses of Bitcoin, which are basically which are active and where you can see transactions happening. And then you have of this active address change in percent, you have a green boundary down here, you have a red boundary. And these are the standard deviations. Now, what is important, on top of that, you have this orange line, and this is the 28-day price change in percent. So what you're doing here, this indicator sets in relation the active addresses and the price change in percent within the last 28 days. And the idea is when the price is going lower, but the active addresses remain fairly high, or at least in relation to that fairly high, then it is a buy signal, because it means that compared to the transactions that are happening and the sentiment, because obviously if there is sentiment, certain bullish sentiment, people are using Bitcoin, this is then the active addresses. So there needs to be a certain positive sentiment about Bitcoin to have an active address because you're using it and so on. But if the price compared to a certain number of addresses is dropping quite strongly, it indicates that Bitcoin is undervalued. And it is considered undervalued if it drops below this lower boundary, the lower standard deviation. And it currently is quite far below that level. It has happened in the last 24 months quite a few times, yes, but not that much. And whenever you bought down here, it was usually at a lower price level, yeah. So overall then, you have the higher boundary, the upper boundary. And again, usually you have this 28-day price change above that red boundary when there's a peak. And we had that, for example, here in January 21, there was a peak. Then we had another peak here in February 21. Yeah, and then we had this low around June 2021. So you can see when here this was a significant swing low in the price in June 21. Here again, we have a significant swing low in the price. And whenever the orange, basically this orange line is below the green boundary, it means we are in an accumulation area, a long-term buying area. Whenever you move above the red line, it would be time to sell. And this is just one of these indicators which, like many others that I already showed you here on this channel, just indicates that we are in a long-term accumulation phase, which means, again, the price could still drop a little bit further, but it generally indicates we are already quite far down and we've already retraced enough to complete this overall correction, and we could reverse to the upside at any point in time. And the longer you are below this boundary, you should actually be happy because you can accumulate Bitcoin if you are interested to do so. Again, no financial advice, but this is basically one of the many buy signals that is currently flashing on many of the indicators. So this is everything I can tell you about this active address sentiment indicator. Hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe, and then we'll see you in another video. Bye bye.